everyone! Live music is well and truly back. At last, the ending of COVID restrictions in the UK has allowed all theatres, clubs, pubs, as well as our much-loved independent music venues to open up again, put on amazing events and get people back doing what they love, whether that's playing or watching live music. But sadly, grassroots music venues are still facing millions of pounds worth of debt because of the pandemic. Over 500 venues were threatened with permanent closure, but public support and the Music Venues Trust meant that thankfully the majority were saved. But it's likely your local music venue is still struggling financially and will do for years to come. If you're a music fan, then please get up and go to a gig. Take a chance on something new, take your friends and family. If you don't love them, you could lose them. The venues, that is, not your family and friends. And to get you right in the mood, we have a fantastic show lined up for you tonight on the Grassroots Music Show, with Bowman performing live in the studio. And we've partnered up with Manchester-based brewery, the Alphabet Brewing Company, so that we can all enjoy a craft beer during the show. Because why the hell not? This show is all about the music, so let's get the show on the road with Bowman and their single, Tenfold.
It's quiet now, just say the words and I knock them down. I said you know how this script reads, but is it better for you or me? Let's all pretend it's all we got left, let's figure this out, it just don't make no sense. Now it gives me a reason to play the part you know well. You say yeah, but I don't know what you're giving me. And that's all that I know. And I could give it to you tenfold if we could just forget the past, love. And that's all that I know. Ties will make you right. Let's dance on 3, are you taking 5? For the memory and for the night. You say yeah, but I don't know. You're giving me mixed messages, and that's all that I know. I could give it to you tenfold if we could just forget the past, love. And that's all that I know.
That was excellent. That was Bowman with their first song of the evening, Tenfold. Let's hear it again, everybody. We will be talking to the lads later on in the show, and they've got some more tunes ready to perform for us. But for now, let's have a chat about where it is we are on today's show. As you might be able to tell from some of the memorabilia on the walls, We're in Greater Manchester, home of some of the best music this country's seen. Joy Division and their later incarnation New Order hailed from the very streets that are surrounding our studio here in Salford. And just a stone's throw away in Manchester, there's an endless list of bands and artists that have made an everlasting impact on the music industry in the UK. The Smiths, Oasis, Cortinas, The Happy Mondays, Chemical Brothers, James, and even Take That if you're that way inclined, to name a few, have all hailed from Manchester. But without the thriving music scene which starts at a grassroots level, none of these artists would have been able to make the impact they did and continue to do now. So, on the grassroots music scene, we'll be looking at celebrating those venues that give bands a start and allow all types of artists to have a platform to perform to music fans across these two great cities. We hit the streets to ask fans in Greater Manchester, what are their favourite music venues?
The Northern Quarter, perhaps Manchester's trendiest neighbourhood. Home to vibrant street art, bohemian bars, independent record stores, and some of Manchester's liveliest music venues.
So my favourite music venue for local artists in Manchester, especially in Northern Quarter, is Gulliver's. Loads of great bands, loads of local people, my friends play here all the time, loads of fun, good Guinness too. Spot on.
Favourite music venue in Manchester has to be Band on the Wall because I've performed there multiple times with college and other events.
Mine would probably be Hatch because there's loads of different stuff on there and you can sit outside and smoke as well, which is nice.
So yeah, my favourite venue is Night and Day. I played there with a few bands. It's got massive heritage of 30 years, cracking venue.
My favourite venue is probably Hidden at Downsex Mill. I've been to a good few events there, some really sweaty ones and some really just like really humble, kind of like psychedelic moments. So yeah, Hidden.
Sweaty ones.
Sweaty ones.
A really underrated music venue in Manchester is the Pier Hat. I think the sound is incredible for heavier bands and it should be utilised a lot more by said bands.
Castle Hotel because it's a really cute, cosy, intimate venue. So my favourite place to listen to music in Manchester is probably Manchester Academy, just because, just like the first place I ever listened to like a band, just memories of like growing up with my friends, just really nice vibes, wholesome vibes, really good.
Favourite music venue would have to be the Apollo. Just nice, small venue. It's not the biggest. It's nice and just a good size, good acoustics. Sounds always perfect. All the best bands play there.
Quite like Artmore in Northern Quarter. It's small. It's a bit grungy, but that's kind of part of the charm of it. You can always have a good night there.
Some great venues mentioned there. Head to our website to download our Manchester venues checklist, alongside a list of standout shows for you to check out over the next few months. As you can see, I'm now sat by the bar. I'm not going to make you guys in the audience wait any longer because I've seen you all eyeing them up. For today's show, we've partnered up with a Manchester-based brewery who've been kind enough to not only lend us this very nice bar, but to also provide us with some of their wonderful craft beers. We're joined now by a lovely bartender called Ava to tell us more. So what's the benefit of having, say, a locally produced beer as opposed to like a mass-produced one?
Yeah, so the major difference with them is that there's more time focused on taste and flavour and things like that. Mass-produced beers, you don't really get like as much variety with the flavours.
Yeah. Price difference between this and then, say, a regular beer?
Well, if we're speaking in terms of drinking these products at home, then they probably will cost more because it is an experience. But in terms of venues around the country, we have found that independent venues will be buying more of them from local breweries and things like that. This has created customers getting a better value for money and when attending smaller gigs.
Oh, well, Ace, thank you so much for coming in and speaking to us. Mine is definitely a Juice Springsteen. And while you're pouring me one, I think we should hear another tune from Berman. So take it away, lads.
Now your back's on my bedroom floor, so betting like you ain't done this before. On my back about empathy, push the button, I just don't wanna to see. Ain't got time for your silver tongue. I settle down, then I might be one. She wanted it all now. I was afraid of putting out. She said it's all mind games with you. to come about, but I'm pulling out, even if I'm having doubts. I don't wanna be nobody, 'cause you got me coming back. Line I don't wanna feel nobody, 'cause you got me feeling like a shit. Line Now your back's on my bedroom floor, so acting like you ain't done this before. Ain't got time for your silver tongue. Settle down, let our mind be one. She wanted it all now. I was afraid of putting out. She said it's all mine, games with you. Baby, I never meant for this to come about, but I'm pulling out, even if I'm having doubts. I don't wanna feel nobody, 'cause you got me feeling like a shit. I don't wanna see nobody, yeah, you got me coming back for good. I don't wanna see nobody. You've got me coming back for good. I don't wanna feel nobody. Yeah, you got me feeling like a shit.
During the COVID-19 pandemic, a majority of Britain's most loved music venues faced closure, with the entire sector being pretty much forced to close down for the entirety of the pandemic. We decided it would be best to hear from those who lived through this, to find out how they are bouncing back and what we as the general public can do to support our local music venues.
Hello, I'm Nick Alexander. I am one of the owners of the Pier Hat. Thinking back to the lockdown period, my greatest worry would be that the injuries sustained by a community would be permanent, that the scars would be too difficult to heal in terms of people being able to touch, in terms of people being able to be together, which is in fact the font and lifeblood of a place like this. We received some help from the government, but of course most of that help goes to the landlord, you know. He's a decent man. I suppose landlords have to claim the money also, but it wasn't the panacea which I think some people might have thought it was. I'm not interested in the country supporting anything, to be perfectly honest. What I'm interested in is, country and grassroots doesn't go together, they don't mix. Regionalism, especially when it comes to communities and culture as well, it's in the word really, community. It starts small, it remains small, and people form bonds within that boundary. A national, I mean, it's all very well and good for you know, grants and nationwide sort of initiatives and the like. But that isn't the time we're moving into, and that's not the time I think we're even living in. We're living in a time when we're building these small things and we're creating something interesting. The nice thing about a place like the Pier Hat, people come here, they come together and they want a place like this to exist. And I don't really have to do a great deal ultimately, because they want and need a place to be free. Sometimes people need permission to be free, which is a strange thing. And if people want to see the things they want to see in an arena, that's fine. Let's go and see Alan Partridge. It's a tiny Alan Partridge, but it's not really something that I can say to people and say, I suggest you go to a small music venue and support us. The time is coming when you're not going to have the choice. You're going to have to be part of the community. You're going to need that, and this is what we offer.
Get on the stage, Joe. Get on the stage, Joe.
Hey lads, how you doing?
All right. How's it going?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks. It was a great performance you did there.
Thank
So I
you
just
very
want to know a little bit about you all. So where did you all meet?
We all sort of met at uni, didn't we? Kind of. Sort of.
Half.
Me and Greg. It's hard bit
Half
half
right.
and half. Me and Greg met back in college. We met each other on the same course. Greg didn't like me when we first met.
Best friendships
I still don't really.
He still doesn't.
Tolerate each
He's
other.
a co-worker, yeah.
And then me and Greg moved up to Manchester, and that's how we met Stan in first year. He joined, and then we met Brad at the party.
Yeah.
Yeah, didn't we? Yeah.
Sounds great, and you obviously all gel together. You've all got very similar hairstyles, which goes well for the image of the band.
They copied me. I was the originator.
The trendsetter.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So obviously, you moved up to Manchester, so it's a whole new territory for you all. What's your experiences been like playing in Manchester so far? How have you found it?
Mad. It's been great. We loved it.
Yeah?
Like the music scene here is popping off, especially from like in comparison to where we came from, like Shrewsbury, in the Shire. It's
I can't imagine it being that good, to be honest.
it's quite dead. I mean, we've got a couple of venues around town, haven't we, that aren't too shabby, that have really helped us. They gave us a stage to play when we were starting out, so we thank them for that. But yeah, moving to Manchester's been really good for us, and we're loving it.
So where would you like to play in Manchester? Where have you played so far, and where would you aspire to play to?
Well, we sold out, what was it, Castle Hotel in Lot 91. We've got a gig coming up in Breadshed, which is great fun. We've got like 400 tickets to shift, so buy one please.
Did everyone hear that? So what's the date of your gig?
25th?
25th of June.
25th of June, yeah. Playing Breadshed, and we'll all be homeless if you don't buy tickets, so no pressure. But yeah, I mean, Gorilla, just any venue in Manchester, they're all brilliant. Like, they're all so different, but we've done Deaf Institute as well. That was great fun.
That was great.
It sounds mega.
Really good.
So we've all had a sneak peek at upcoming Birmingham show, and obviously everyone's going to buy tickets to the Breadshed. But the main question is, what is next for Birmingham? What can we expect from you all?
Obviously, we've got the headliner, Breadshed. That's really big for us. We've managed to bag ourselves a slot at Why Not Festival.
Incredible.
Yeah, which we're stoked about it, because it's our first like proper festival. So we're very excited for that, and we are working on our debut EP. So that's going to be hopefully coming at the end of this year.
That's mega. Well, thanks so much for joining us in the studio today, lads. It's been a blast having you, and we've all enjoyed it. So while Birmingham get ready to close the show with their upcoming single Ride or Die, we spoke to some more local bands who told us their experiences of playing music in Manchester.
Hi, my name's Tom. I'm the bassist from Cultures.
I'm lost again, wondering where I belong.
So I've been playing music in Manchester pretty much all my life. I'm from Manchester myself. And we've played in Manchester all our lives, essentially, all three of us. And the Manchester music scene's definitely changed throughout my time as being a musician. There's some great new venues as well, like Yes and like Band on the Wall, for example. It's not a new venue, but it's obviously changed over the years, and like even the last 15 years, it's had it's going through a second renovation that I can remember, and it's a quality music venue. So yeah, there's tons of great music venues in Manchester that are kind of popping up, and it's a really cool place to be a musician. I think it's so important that the music venues are protected, because it's the likes of Night and Day that bring bands through like ourselves, and bigger bands after us as well, you know. So I think that's really, really important. Obviously, when the pandemic hit in early 2020, a lot of bands, I feel, kind of, and everyone thought that it was going to be quite short term. And in that short term kind of mindset, I feel like a lot of music venues and bands who kind of are unsigned in that grassroots, or, you know, there's bands that are kind of, they're signed to a lot of indie labels, but they're still grassroots. Now, they were all kind of overseen. I think they weren't really protected, especially music venues themselves. They were not protected by the government particularly well, and that's why you saw the kind of, you know, nearly the closure of the Deaf Institute, which would have been absolutely shocking if that had gone. It is such an iconic venue to Manchester, and the same with Gorilla. Sorry, like Gorilla and Deaf Institute are kind of they are so important for grassroots music in Manchester. I cannot tell you. You know, they are the two kind of venues that, you know, you don't play them when you first get in a band and you go, oh, I'm going to play for our first gig. You don't play them then. But once you've got that little bit of a fan base, they're the venues you need, because people don't seem to realise, or a lot of people that don't know music very well, they don't realise that they just hear like an Ed Sheeran or Justin Bieber. One day, oh yeah, he's on the streets, he did a bit of YouTube, and the next minute he's playing an arena. But there's so many bands and music artists and solo artists up and down the UK and all over the world that they don't do that. They have a lot longer journey. They were left behind, like a lot of these music venues, and they are one of the core elements of making grassroots music successful, is having these venues in the middle that when you're starting to get a fan base, you can start to play a venue that fits 200, 300, 400, 500, because you're never going to go from playing a 100 to a 1,000, 2,000 seater standing arena or venue at all. It's not going to happen. It doesn't happen like that overnight. The importance of having kind of these music venues inside that are still with us, and, you know, the likes of a band who can sell out, you know, 450 tickets and then bring 2 local Manchester acts to support them is so important. And the fact that, you know, the government kind of just let these guys go and go, okay, yeah, you know, we ain't going to give you enough money, like that was really sad. And it was really nice actually to see like Manchester, and it wasn't just people from Manchester, but all over kind of the UK kind of starting to try and protect these venues, because they are massively important, as I say, to kind of the development of bands. People, instead of going to support the likes of kind of Harry Styles for 115 quid a ticket, should come and visit kind of Cultures for 8 quid a ticket or 10 a ticket, or like just pop down to your local music venue. There's so many that you can just walk in on the door and literally pay like anything from, you know, 3, 4, 5 to £10. Like £10 is going to get you 2 pints, and you might have a great night. You might not, but you might find like the next Arctic Monkeys or the next, I don't know, Kings of Leon or whatever you're into. So I really do think that there's not enough people going to live music events, not taking chances on it, or even if they listen to a band and they're like, oh yeah, but they've only got like 200 followers on Spotify, so do I really want to go see them? Yeah, go see them, because they might be the best live band you've ever seen.
Sadly, we are now coming to the end of the show. We've established live music is well and truly back. We've had a few beers and we've all had a great time. Over the coming weeks, we'll be travelling across the country, delving deeper into the grassroots music industry in the UK, discovering more up-and-coming bands on the way, and celebrating more independent music venues. We're now going to end the show in the best way we know how, with Bowman and their upcoming single, Ride or Die.
said you are mine, you're my ride or die, and we're drifting away. Now we're backseat driving, there's no denying, you're my ride or die, and we're drifting away. I could have blew it. I know you want me to stay, so I'ma use it. You can always count on me to come and fall at your knees. I stepped over the threshold. I said, baby, look so cold. Come on, put your hands on me. It's the closest you could ever be. I said you are mine, you're my ride or die, drifting away, and now we're backseat driving, there's no denying, you're my ride or, and we're drifting away, you're my ride or, and we're drifting away. There is no innocence.